following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Welcome in, everybody. Happy Monday. It's Menu Monday. So we're going to talk about food. We're going to talk about our friends and partners with things to do all week long in Nashville. And my Nashville really is just like Main Street Media's Nashville. It's all the little burgs that surround Nashville proper. And we have stories from all sorts of places. And we're going to learn how to cook brisket. But first, there is a recall on my most favorite thing in the world. People say all the time, what's your favorite food? And it's kind of pedestrian. My favorite food is peanut butter. I mean, I like peanut butter flavored anything. I like peanut butter. It's a lot of protein. It's like a spoon of peanut butter will get you through a multitude of low blood sugar issues. So here's the deal. The Smucker's Foundation, the Smucker's organization released a couple of days ago that they are doing a voluntary recall of some of their Jif peanut butter products because of a possible salmonella scare, and all these different products that you see here. Now, there are 14 states that are included. Tennessee is not one of them. However, you can check and do a quick Google and go to Jif peanut butter recall, and it will pop up, and there are actual sell by dates. Right under the sell by date, there are lot numbers, and they will tell you the specific lot numbers. Throw them away. Just throw those away. Don't eat one if it's one of the ones that are possible salmonella. These are the ones that came from the Lexington, Kentucky plant. Now, I would think that they would end up in Tennessee, but so far they're not one of the cases. But just pay close attention to that story. It is a little bit fluid, so some things are changing. Let's see who's checking in with us today. I love when you guys join me. Regina, hi there. How are you? I'm glad that you're doing well, Regina. Good morning, Mona. Mona Bagsby sells for Main Street, Nashville. So if you want to be part of this show and want us to talk about your products, you go to Mona Bagsby and you just give her a listen and say, hey. Oh, Leonard Wolf, one of the most incredible composers and songwriters and performers in our town. Thank you. Saying, look, you know what? I wore these glasses. These are some of my favorite glasses. And I wear these for Randy Moore, who is the sales Jedi at Gallatin News. He's the Jedi. He's the one that we all go, oh, look, who is your father? He is the one that we go to. And Charles, oh my gosh, there's a lot of folks watching today. Doing good. May God bless you. Well, God bless you right back. I'm so glad to have you there. And I know Elizabeth, peanut butter is my fave too. I honestly did have bad peanut butter one time, and I got salmonella from it. And it was an off brand. I was trying to save money like I always am. And I got an off brand. Not that matters because Jif is not an off brand, but I got one and I got the worst case of salmonella ever. I thought I was dying. And I read on the internet that lemon juice helped get rid of it. I would try anything. And so I would just suck on one of those little plastic lemons, just the lemon juice. It did help relieve some of the cramping. I don't know what it was, but it's the acid or whatever, but that, and the first thing I wanted to eat, I started craving, of all things. The only food I could eat after my salmonella was chicken nuggets from McDonald's. I know. didn't normally even eat chicken nuggets from McDonald's. Okay, there you go. Oh, Brenda Lynn Allen. She's from our Main Street Murray grouping of down there in Columbia and Spring Hill and Mount Pleasant, that little area down there, Main Street Murray. Hey, Brenda Lynn Allen, she's got a great show. Go to Main Street Nashville and look at the playlist and you'll see it. Thank you. I'm glad you like the glasses. Well, they're my ones I actually paid for, and they helped me see better. And it was one of those issues. Are y'all having allergy problems right now? They're just terrible, aren't they? I don't know what it is. I'm hoping that the rain moving in kind of helped settle down whatever was flying around, because, it has been just awful. Well, we do need the rain, and we especially need the rain. If you've got gardens, it has been dry, 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 as my grandpa used to say. And y'all pardon me if this is too indelicate for you. Drier than a popcorn fart. Anyway, the rain has moved in. It's kind of washed. It cooled us off a little bit. And Wednesday through Friday, we got thunderstorms in the forecast. So we'll try to keep you posted on everything going on with rain. So glad that you're checking in. This morning, if you're watching Mornings on Main Street with Joe Dubin and the intern, you saw Jason Gooseby, who keeps us abreast of all of the real estate happenings. And he said a lot of people, the only money that you can really spend and get a really good bang for your buck is out and going out. And more people are looking at farms and property. And if you are looking at farming and you want to have someone help you get started in farming, we have a partner here on this show, Farm Credit, e-farmcredit.com. They can answer all sorts of questions. If you're thinking about making your move to homesteading, like the Homestead Festival that's coming up in Columbia, if you're thinking about that, well, Farm Credit has everything you need right at the end of your hand. A handshake. They do.
The backbone of America has been built on handshakes. In a handshake, there is trust, honesty, and a mutual commitment to building a long-lasting relationship. At Farm Credit Mid-America, we remain true to those principles. And while the world around us may be changing, we remain focused on securing the future of rural communities and agriculture. One home, one farm, and one business at a time.
e-farmcredit.com will get you all up in the mood to go to the Homestead Festival June 3rd and 4th with my friend Rory Feek in Columbia, Tennessee at his farm. Tammy Arender covered the story, and we would love to share it with you right now. What's going to go on?
Well, my wife was a homesteader before, probably we even realized it. We always had a big garden right there, just like the one we're working on right now. We always raised chickens, and Joey always believed that it might not have been cheaper or easier to do it that way, but it was better. She just knew inherently that it was better for us, better food, and also better for our lives and better for our children. And there's something about getting outside and getting your hands in the earth and taking part in all of that that is soothing, and it's calling out to people, and they want to be part of real communities. But another one is education. And so there'll be people speaking and a lot of conversation about education and different alternatives for that. And of course, we have our own school here. We have a homestead school. We have one full-time teacher, one full-time farmer, and a dozen students. And just this morning, the part of the curriculum, it's a surprise curriculum, but we had a baby goat born last night. So we got to experience, I've been gone all morning, and I got back here, and the kids were so excited to show me the new baby goat. That's Indiana.
They've met.
That's Miss Rebecca.
We've had lots of loving.
And that right there is Miss Tammy. What this is about is an opportunity to spend a weekend talking about it. I think our slogan is the Homestead Festival, not just where you learn how to grow your own food, where you can learn how to grow a life filled with meaning and purpose.
Well, speaking of Tammy, that piece was brought to us by Tammy Arender, who lets us use some of her pieces. She also works full-time for RFD Television and for News Channel 5. She sends some things there in Tennessee Crossroads, and I'm so glad that she shares with us. But she is my sister from another mister from Tallulah, Louisiana, and she is an incredible cook. She has ended up in the finals on 2 different cooking shows. She's primarily a baker, But anybody who's from my home burg knows that cooking a brisket is part of the curriculum of graduating to being a cook in our neck of the woods. A lot of people have different ways. How do you cook your brisket? Right now, you need to take out a loan to buy a brisket. I will say that it's so expensive to buy brisket these days. But if you'd like to know a little bit about cooking, you don't want to mess it up. You don't want to mess it up. So here she is, Tammy Arnder, to take you into the kitchen on Menu Monday.
With it being National Beef Month, what better way to celebrate than to get in the kitchen with Justin Wilson, the famous Cajun chef, his granddaughter, Claylee Stone, right here in Lake Providence, Louisiana. And Claylee, I was saying, let's cook a great steak. And you took it one step further. You said, you know what, girl, brisket is a trick.
First thing we do is we stuff this puppy with garlic. So we go around making these nice big holes, and I just take garlic and stuff it in there.
Just the whole clove. I love that.
So at this point, I take my onions that I have cut, and what I want to do here is I'm sort of making a bed for this to have a nice, good nap.
Right. We want it to be comfortable.
We want it to be rested. We want it to be rested. Okay, so we put the rosemary, fresh rosemary, on top of the bed of onion, 2 bay leaves, and then we season our meat. So I start with salt, and this is a big piece of meat. It can take plenty of seasoning.
Mm-hmm.
So trust me, it's got plenty of fat on it, and you have it's a lot of forgiveness.
You can be aggressive with it.
Yes, indeed. So this is fresh ground black pepper and a little bit of cayenne. I'm not going overboard with it, but we like it hot. And then I have onion powder here. And then we have Panola Worcestershire seasoning. It's fabulous. I love this.
Love some Panola
and so
Worcestershire.
We put that around. And this is the most important step, okay? Now, ain't much gonna happen unless you give this baby a massage. So we got to do some.
Pamper it a little bit.
We got to do some rubbing. I mean, come on now. And so we're gonna put it in the pan. And we're starting it again. All the stuff.
All the seasonings.
Yeah, all the
salt, the pepper, the little.
This looks like a
lot.
lot.
It's the Cajun cocktail.
It is. That's exactly.
It's a drunk cocktail.
It is.
You're not going to drink it.
Yes, and this is the gourmet sauce. This was my grandmother's recipe that my uncle started making.
Really?
Oh yes, and my uncle Bubba started making this, and he would actually give it to people for Christmas presents, and then people were like, we'd like to have this before December.
We want to have it 12 months out of the year.
And so he figured out a way to do it. And this is beer.
What we got? All right, so we're cooking with beer. All right, I'm not a beer drinker, but I do have to say cooking with beer, especially when it comes to meat, it's almost a tenderizer, isn't it?
It makes an incredible difference. I've done it with other liquids, and beer is my favorite.
All right, so we're putting this in the oven at
225.
For how long?
I like to do mine for about 12 hours.
So go on vacation.
Yeah.
You get to do a little day trip, a little rural road tripping. How's that while this cooks?
I like 12 hours. Some people do a little bit less, but that's what I do. No. So now we're just going to put some of this fabulous juice on here.
My stomach is about to eat my backbone. Because I've waited 12 hours on this, right?
We're all ready to eat.
So is it time? We are ready to eat.
Yes.
All right, well, I'm going to take the first little bite here, that au jus, the rice. Oh, wow.
It's just fork tender. It's wonderful. Yum, huh?
Yum is an understatement.
And sandwiches for tomorrow.
Oh, I'll eat on this for a week. I'm telling you, that, I can't stop. I can't stop.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, no, you're going to have to give me a moment.
That's what it's all about.
Well, here's what I say. We know we got to eat to live, but in Louisiana, we live to eat.
We live to eat.
See you next time.
Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry for that. Does that not look incredible? Now down in Texas, I had a friend, and he takes yellow mustard and he just rubs that all over that brisket, and he wraps it overnight, and he lets it soak in. He puts saran wrap all around it so it just gets all that mustard in there. And I said, mustard of all things. Now me, I do it a little bit different. Fat side up. Don't cut the fat off. I don't. I just leave it right there and let it drip down through it. And I use Tony seasoning, a little salt, a little pepper, but Tony seasoning is my deal. And liquid smoke. That's my magic. I love it to taste like smoke, and I don't like to stick it in a smoker, but I put liquid smoke in mine, and I put mine in a browning bag. Oh, y'all. Just gets so nice and tender and yummy. Ooh, goodness. like Justin Wilson would say. Whoo, yeah. It's like, hey, well, you guys always send me such great ideas. So glad that you guys are here. Oh my gosh, we're going to head down to Alabama, and Suzanne and Mark have joined us. Oh, thank you so much that you're sharing and say, share everybody. Let's have our coffee break together. I just love it, love it, love it. And Elizabeth, thank you for saying that your day isn't complete. If you guys watch on the replay, a hashtag replay, we love to know when you're watching. And I guarantee, that's a good right there. Loving Justin Wilson. Thank you, Mark. I'm glad that you do. I had a feeling that you would like that. If you watch Mornings on Main Street this morning, you know that Big Joe on the go and the intern went to the zoo on Saturday night.
Yes, we love nighttime at the zoo. It is just such a different atmosphere, such a whole different vibe with your friends and family. And we have night visions that started last week, and it will be here till the end of July. And night visions, we describe it as a mind-bending, dream-like experience. It's kind of you're experiencing different light shows paired with unique music and just something like you've never seen before. Most of our animals are in their nighttime quarters and they're sleeping for the evening. However, we do have our flamingos that will be out for the duration of the event, the entire time it's running. And we also have our Unseen New World exhibit, which is home to our reptiles, amphibians, some mammals that will be open about an hour into the time of night visions. We start about 7:15, 7:30, and it ends about 10:30, but it will get even later into July. We'll stay open until about 11:30. We do have adult beverages. We have beverage carts along the path as guests are strolling, checking out all those cool night shows, our night scenes. You can get beer, margarita, and some seltzers and just have a good time. We have our food carts open, available for snacks like pretzels and popcorn, and we do have our dining options available as well. So admission to Night Visions is $19 for kiddos and $23 for teens and adults.
If you like songwriters, oh my goodness, Backstage Nashville was so much fun on Saturday. We had Sean Camp and Jeff Trott and Dan Alley. And there was a young lady that I met, and I'm going to have her on the show coming up. I'm going to tell your name. I'm going to make you wait, because she drove in from Oklahoma and she had one song. She and her mama came in and they auditioned through BackstageNashville.net. There's a place where it said to be on the show. People ask me, how do I get me on that show, Devin? I don't book it. I ain't got nothing to do with it. But you can send in there's a link there to be a guest. Well, she just sent in via the internet her audition. And she walked on that stage, y'all. She left everything right there. It was so good. And we're going to meet her. I love introducing you to new music. Coming up, we're going to have some new music from Crandall Creek Bluegrass. But before that, I want to tell you about Country for a Cause. It's coming to 3rd and Lindsley, raising money for an important organization, the Monroe Carroll Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt. I think I got that name right. And they do research that helps kids all around the country. And they work in conjunction with St. Jude, but they're our local branch right here in Middle Tennessee.
T.G. Shepherd here.
And Kelly Lang.
Once again, Kelly and I have the honor of hosting Country for a Cause. And as always, it takes place this year at 3rd and Lindsley on June the 8th at 7 p.m. We're always so honored to be able to do this. We have an incredible guest list this year.
Yes, we do.
People performing. Tell them who's going to be on, Kelly.
Well, we're hosting it, and we have a lot of help from our good friend Devin O'Day in between acts. I'm so grateful for her. Let me say ahead of time that this is sponsored by our dear friends Gus Arundel at Springer Mountain Farms Chickens. We are so happy to have
Country music's greatest supporters.
Yes,
Gus.
they are. The people on our show so far: John Berry, T. Graham Brown, John Ford Coley.
Oh, I love John.
The Isaacs, Richard Lynch, Wendy Moten, John Rich, Riders in the Sky, Tweety and Lynn, Rhonda Vincent, Michelle Wright, and Billy Yates.
We hope to see you at 3rd and Lindsley for Country for a Cause, June the 8th at 7 p.m.
See you there.
I will see you there. I cannot wait. It's like a family reunion. It is the best part of the CMA Music Fest. It's not actually it's the unofficial, it's the charity version of during a CMA Music Fest. And I'm going to go right now. Let's see. There are a couple more people checking in. Y'all are so great. Sherry Forrest. Woo! I bet you're going to be at Country for a Cause. I know you are. And Twitty and Lynn. Brenda's so excited about those. And of course, EB, you're going to be there. Knowing you're going to have a headset and be directing traffic. Oh my goodness. And this week I'm going to announce my winners. I got some people who are going to see the Homestead Festival. Got some extra tickets. If you want to go to the Homestead Festival in Columbia, make sure that you put I want to go to Homestead. And I've got some tickets to give away. And by the end of the week, we'll have notified every single person who we pulled out of the hat to go to the Homestead Festival June 3rd and 4th. All right. John Blackwell, I haven't talked to you in a long time. Glad to have you there, brother. Well, we're going to head over and I'm going to see if this works. Now, if it doesn't work, we got our bases covered because we're going to go up to West Virginia. Now, West Virginia is, when you talk about Wheeling, West Virginia, in that area and where the coal mines are, they are a real hotbed of bluegrass. We just had our Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival, and it was a big success. Hope to hear from Sally and find out how it went. She's over there at the Robertson County Connection, and it was at Cross Plains, and they had a big old whoop-de-doo on Friday and Saturday. We'll have to get a weigh-in and find out how that went. But coming to Station Inn this summer, a little bit later this summer, Jerry Andrews and Crandall Creek Bluegrass are going to be at the Station Inn. Let's see if we can add him to our stream. And all right. Jerry, we got you there audio only. How are you doing, my friend?
Good. I'm not really sure. I'm trying video, but I'm not a very person, so I don't know if that made any.
Don't you worry about it, Jerry. We're going to play your new single coming up, and we can hear you, and that's what really counts. Jerry, tell me a little bit about your background and how you got started in bluegrass.
Well, I'm raised in a pretty rural Appalachian setting here in West Virginia, and my family was always into music. Of course, in high school, I was a rocker in high school. Zeppelin, Foghat, Deep Purple, that whole scene. And then as things progressed, we got into country music in the late 70s, early 80s. Played the William circuit some. I played pedal steel and fiddle back then. And then I kind of put things down for 37 years. I got married and finished college and did all that and kind of got dragged back into this accidentally. I went to a Donna Ulysses songwriting seminar down at Nashville State College. And I actually demoed one of my songs for the clinic, and it was not very good. Donna was very kind, and after I did the song, she went, "Oh, that was really nice." And then she filleted it politely, but she filleted it. And I formed a friendship with Donna and Rick, her banjo player, Papa. And so that's kind of how it got started. And really, I'd always been a songwriter. Never really meant to be in a band again, but as the songwriting progressed, we started adding a few people here and there. Before I knew it, we were back into a band. And I loved to fly fish a stream in Wyoming called Crandall Creek. And someone said, if you had a band, what would you name it? And I said, I just got back from out west. I caught a lot of trout on Crandall Creek. I'd probably have to name it Crandall Creek. And that was just a joke in passing, and someone caught it and it stuck.
Well, putting creek in anything makes it a bluegrass band. You know that, don't you?
Yes.
That's what makes it bluegrass. I absolutely love it. Well, Wheeling, and there's one story that I really loved that you told me, and that was about Brad Paisley. Now, he's from your neck of the woods, isn't he?
Yes. He went to John Marshall High School also, where I attended. Brad's quite a bit younger. But Brad would, I can remember him coming around, playing people's instruments here. And everybody knew where this was headed with Brad when he was young. He was just so good and worked hard, incredible work ethic. He's done everything right. And really, he's earned everything he has. He's been quite the entertainer and quite
When you got to hear him the first time and you were kind of blown away by his playing, how old was he?
He could have only been 13 or 14, and I can remember thinking, that's not right. That's no one able to do at that age. But he worked hard too. You know, it wasn't like someone handed him anything. The guy worked hard and still does.
Absolutely, he does. Well, Jerry, we're going to cut you loose and we're going to tell the story behind Cakewalk and play your latest single, Crandall Creek Bluegrass. You just do a quick Google. They've got a YouTube channel. You can find it. But we want to save the date for when you're going to be at the Station Inn. When are you coming to Nashville?
We're coming August 17th. We'll be there, and we'll also be at Milan Bluegrass Festival in Michigan. We'll be there, and we'll be at 7 Mile in Greenfield, Ohio this year. So things have really opened up, and we just released album number 3.
Oh, that's fantastic. I am so glad you spent some time with us today. And we'll talk to you again when you get into town for, maybe I can head over there to the Station Inn and drive after dark one time.
Thank you so much for having me on. I really, truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. You take care. Well, Jerry and his crowd, they are real pickers. Well, let's do a little quick story behind the new single, and then we'll close our show with Cakewalk by Crandall Creek Bluegrass.
Hello there, I'm Bruce Wingus from Copper Mountain Records, and I'm talking with Jerry Andrews and Kathy Wakeman-Lesnock of Crandall Creek Band, and we're talking about their latest release, Cakewalk. Jerry, can you tell us a little bit about how you all wrote the song?
Well, we wrote this song as a band, and we got the idea from a square dance and kind of narrowed it down, and once we started, the song just fell together. It was an easy song to write, and it's something that I knew about from my time in rural Marshall County, West Virginia. Attended square dances and cakewalks. It was just kind of a natural extension of experiences that I had as a boy. And we wrote it as a band. It fell together nicely. We wrote it basically in an afternoon.
Oh, that sounds good. And Kathy, can you tell us about what a cakewalk is and about the song too?
Well, during the square dance, they'll have a break and people will bake cakes and bring them to the dance. And people will gather in a circle, and the caller of the square dance will have everybody, go around in a circle. And if you hit a certain spot that has been predetermined, then you win the cake. And I grew up also attending square dances and having our own cakewalks in Prosperity, Pennsylvania, a little village.
That sounds good. That's Cakewalk on Copper Mountain Records by Crandall Creek Bluegrass Band. Look for it.
Hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ruby Miller mixed up a chocolate cake, stuck it in the oven for an hour to bake.
Y'all, on Monday, we all know the grass is always blue. And that's what we do around here. And we celebrate Crandall Creek Bluegrass. They're from Wheeling, West Virginia, coming in August to the Station Inn. Save that date. And maybe we just have a big old party. A big shout out to everybody who's watching. Barbara Sisson watching from Alaska today. And I think, Brenda, aren't you in Alaska? I think you are. Let me know. Brian Curl. Oh my gosh. From Heartland Records, and an animator extraordinaire. And we got to have him on to talk about what he's doing. Talk about Mr. Reinvention. Ooh, Lord have mercy. He is something. And Zelda Beal from my hometown of Pineville, Louisiana. Y'all, I'm so glad that you were with me today. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time visiting. Oh, Brenda is from Missouri. Oh, Don, join it. Don, it is Jif peanut butter that is responsible for the outbreak, the possible outbreak. Brenda Sisson is from Alberta, Canada. That's her home. And Don, happy birthday to you. Don just had a birthday this week. And so happy birthday. We are so glad. And I hope Helen is doing better. Y'all are just near and dear to me. And we talked a little bit earlier about Jif. So if y'all check and find out where you are, find out if you're one of the infected peanut butter cans, don't even take a chance, because trust me, it was no fun. No fun whatsoever. It is World Turtle Day. That is my totem. The Choctaw side of me goes, whoo, whoo, turtles. I'm built for comfort, not speed. And I know that you guys get that. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Stay dry, and we need the rain. I just turned into that girl. We want you to know that you need to be safe out there and be kind to each other. And most of all, know that you are loved. Bye.
Nothing like the sunrise with your coffee in the morning, or taking a good book off the shelf. Another thing I love the most than being on my own is together with everybody else. Together like a silent Sunday sun.